When you're at the top, the only way to go is down. And it gives you a score. The score is how much pressure you're pulling and go. That's a very nice movement. See, the same numbers comes back, the same deficit, same thing as you did in movement and not.
Which really proves to us that what we see in static has this direct transfer to dynamic.
Very welcome, Matt, to Matt in their garage. It's called the Lab Garage. Since 2020, moved in. My wife designed that for me. I was miserable on Zoom on the other side, sitting on my ball. She says, I don't want to see you depressed. Not normal that my Jack Russell doesn't move. Let's build that. And since then, I didn't move out. My athletes, they love it. It became more my lab. As I get older, I like to do more consultation. And I welcome you, Matt, an old friend of mine since a long time. Matt was actually probably the first outsider from our group at Yves Etienne and Michel Joubert that was formed with Brico when Brico came. Yeah. And that's a long time ago. And merci, Matt, because you took it to another level. And that's, for me, that's the best thing. You took it where we were in marketing and also in teaching, where we, exactly what we had in mind. And because of you, I was able to stay coaching, and thank you. I love to teach, but I love to coach the athletes.
And Brico's really happy because Bernard, as you know, has always wanted for us to collaborate, because he knows both you and I have these very complementary views and our own specialties. And you were my teacher back when I first learned posturology, and obviously, so, you know, thank you for being there and for assisting Bernard when it really wasn't what it is today, and there wasn't the awareness, and it wasn't the same time and age, right? We didn't have social media back then. This was 2002. So we didn't have social media. It was one of those things where unless you knew someone who was in it, like deep in it, you just didn't know it existed. And so I had gotten to meet Yves Etienne as a client. I was doing personal training. He's like, Matt, there's this course coming up. It's called Posturology. And I just, you know, whatever Yves told me to do, I would, because I had so much, you know, respect for him. And that's how we met. And today, the fact that I get to come to your gym and we get to show people the applications of posturology, but outside of the clinic, because, you know, our strength is our weakness. I'm really strong clinically in an office, but then I work with people like yourself who take the work that we do in the office and actually make it matter on a course, on a field, on the ice. So it's going to be awesome for me to see how you essentially potentialize human beings doing the work that you do.
Well, basically, as an example, if you're one of my athletes, you're coming in, first thing I'm going to do, first we have the three space checking sagittal plane, frontal plane, horizontal plane. Sometimes I will use even biotonics. Sadly, here I don't have that much room, but I have the whole thing. But I'm kind of old school. I use like, for me, this is my best tool to measure. That's my plumb line because it's a level. Yeah. And when I do a video, then I could show the person like it's really objective.
That's amazing.
And I have the same for the hips. Michel Joubert gave me that, podiatrist, and you could see the level. Then it's very objective to the person, because the goal is that it's like when a very high level athlete comes in, it's not, oh, you're better, you're feeling better. No, I want him, when we look at the video after, that here's the proof that this is before and after. And also on the force plate, we have certain more dynamic measurements. Then we got the complete, because as you know, when I started and when you started, what was the main question? Yeah, but how does it correlate to performance when you measure me in static? It has everything in correlation. See, I'm very fortunate. I did some consultation with Michael Italiano. He was the head conditioning coach for Daniele Ricciardo. He was with McLaren, then with AlphaTauri. I did the same with him when he was with Yuki Tsunoda. And I was shocked when I went to the Grand Prix of Montreal, how much they work on static of the car, mainly the tires. See, that's the main thing. That's why the feet for us, for the car of a human being, feet and eyes are pretty much what they work, the same thing for Formula One. They know exactly when the car, and they analyze the treads and everything on the Formula One, how it's going to go at high speed. And how many times you went to the garage at slow speed, you didn't feel anything, but the guy told you your wheels are off balance. I don't feel it. Then you bring it to 120, and then, whoa, now you feel the rattle. But the garage, the mechanic is so good that he saw it when your car was on the jack, no movement and static. Here, this is an imbalance. Look at the tread, look at the suspension. And it's the same when an athlete comes here. As an example, we're big into hockey now because it's half-season hockey and they're all training. A lot of parents, they come and see me. Could you get him to do, or her, because now there's a lot of girls playing hockey, their first 5 step. It's always like that. Says, guys, let's measure their posture. And they look at me like they thought I would give them like power exercise and stuff to get their legs stronger. Says, guy, yes, but not now. Your kid is 10 years old. Let's start at the beginning. And you know it, before the age of 16, 17, 18, the neuroplasticity, and also when you measure, when you modify the postural system, it's very quick. It's like a brand new computer. And basically, the athlete comes in, do sagittal plane with this, frontal plane on the hips, check horizontal plane, analyze the foot. Is it valgus, varus, unipodal? And I put them on the plate. Is it the same on both feet, one foot? Most people, as you know, right-handed people, they will tend to have more varus on the right, more valgus on the left. And it's an epidemic. When you started in 2002, it was not like that.
You're
it was
right.
about maybe 30%. Now it's like 99% of the people like that. Sitting, we're not sure. Eyes probably. Too much screen, not enough activity, not enough to be outside. They're all theory about that.
I think motor development got worse over the last 20 years.
Huge.
So
huge.
if we look at how kids were born and raised 20 years ago, the availability for movement versus now. You see kids with an iPhone now, they're barely able to sit and they have the screen in front of their face and they're lying on their back. So obviously crawling and walking on all four doesn't sound right. It's work, it's effort, and I think that plays in what we see nowadays, because if that started happening maybe, I don't know, cell phones 20 years ago.
20, 25, sadly, yeah.
So those kids are now, 20, 25, and those are the clients we see. And as you say, whereas maybe we had, if I look at neurological organization, right, the fact that someone that's right-handed becomes right-sided, I would say maybe 80% of people actually were well organized, maybe 15 years ago. And nowadays, it's maybe 30% of people that have this dominance profile that's really well established, even just like right dominant eye, right dominant hand.
Yeah.
And in terms of sports efficiency, I would think that actually matters, right, if they have the same side, dominant eye, dominant hand?
But see, it's a good question. See, I worked with the PGA for a long time with the Ledbetter Academy. And what's funny, like if you look at the literature, most, like 85% of the right-handed people, they have a right eye dominance.
Right.
In golf, it's totally the opposite.
No kidding, eh?
Yeah, the best players, like from Tiger Woods, Michel Wee, Michael Campbell, that I had the chance to work with when he won U.S. Open, and Justin Rose, I had the chance to meet all the top one, with thanks to David Ledbetter. And when you analyze them, most of them, not all of them, most of them, they have a left eye dominancy.
And they're right-handed.
They're right-handed. And it's very interesting that it could be one of the factor, like why they're that good.
Yeah, it gives them an edge in a certain specific
it's
way.
a bit like in hockey. If you're left eye dominant and you're a left, because most hockey players are righty or lefty,
right,
I will make you play on the right wing. Because what happened is that you're left-handed shooting, but when you cut from the right, because your left eye is dominant, you're going to have a broader when you come from the right. Obviously, a lot of time the right eye may not converge as much, because most of the time, unless you had concussions, the non-dominant eye usually hits the weakest.
It typically is, yeah.
Typically, there's
we
exceptions,
expect
but
it, yeah.
And then if you don't converge well, then you're skating, then you'll have to turn a lot more. But if you're left eye dominant, you don't have to do that, because your left eye already converged.
Field of vision, yeah.
And then you fill up, and then you're cutting from right to left. It's very interesting. And I've done it with some of my players, and they saw a big difference. They say, wow, I feel way better playing right wing because I'm left eye dominant. They had a better, more scoring chances. They saw the net better, and they had a better percentage.
So looking at the eyes versus looking at the hand.
Exactly. And that was really interesting when they had, like, because they were shooting left. That's another advantage, because right-handed people, when you shoot hockey, the right hand's doing the job.
Right.
But you're still leaning to the left. When you lean to the left and your left eye is dominant, it's way bigger advantage, because you're leaning. It's a bit your incline, but if your right eye is dominant and this one is not converging your left, you will tend to do this. Then you're trying
the hesitation.
Yeah, but there's also a torque.
Right.
So you're trying to lean, and your head wants to lean this way. and that creates a lot of imbalance. And I've seen it more amongst pro golfers on very short game. Actually, if you want to see, there's a great article that was written a long time ago in 2007. If you put Paul Gagné Innovation Golf Digest, and if you want, I'll send it to you, Matt, and you could put it. It's a great article, 3-page. They came to Montreal after Michael Campbell won the U.S. Open in 2005 in Pinehurst. I gave him some eye exercise. The first 3 rounds, he did them like because the camera was not on him.
Right.
Then on the last round, I get a message and says, go to the porta potty, go to the bathroom, because there are about 8 or 9 on the golf course near the greens. Then he went in and people thought he was sick. Then he was ahead of 2 shots on Tiger Woods. He's never won. He was 37 years old. If you win the U.S. Open, that's the end of the world for you.
Right.
And then he was doing his exercise, and I think he sank like 3 or 4 or 5 putt, 30 some feet. And the fact to do only figure eights in the bathroom for 30 seconds increase your parasympathetic outcome. Then, the pressure ahead, 2 shots, you're at the U.S. Open, you never won. Man, this really helped him to calm down. And he explained that in the article. It's very interesting. It's like it was golf innovation back then. And I had a lot of pro coming to Montreal after they never seen any exercise. This was back then in 2005 and 2007. And it's just to show you how sometimes a little thing may help the player to play better. Obviously, he's the one holding the club. He's the one who did it. It was a small part of his success, but it was funny that he mentioned it, and that's why Golf Digest called me and they came to Montreal to do like that kind of article. I've seen the same with hockey players, especially goalies, when we started to change the color of their pads. I remember Marc-André Fleury, I trained him for he was 16 now. Marc is 41, he's retired now. If he had played this year, would have been our 25th anniversary together.
Wow.
If he didn't retire. And I remember he had these yellow pads at one point. Says, Marc, and Pittsburgh on the road back then, they had a very white shirt. Says, get white pads, white blockers. And immediately we saw a difference, because when you're skating, the boards are white.
Yeah.
The ice is kind of white.
Yeah.
Now there's more commercials, but still the base is kind of white.
Yeah.
Then when you're a sharpshooter, you're skating, if you see white, it's hard for you to pick up a spot. When you see these yellow pads, yellow blockers, you see the contour, you'll see they'll shoot where you're not. And although he's a great goalie, Marc is not a big guy. He didn't take a lot of room because he's only 6'1", 185 pounds, compared to these monsters now that some are 6'4", 6'5", 250. They're not half as good as he is, but they make, it's almost like in practice, you've seen these, it's almost like a shield that you put in when there's no goalie. Yeah. It's hard to score on them. The puck's going to hit them a lot. But changing that color, that's why our hockey players, they do training with white pucks almost
you were telling me that,
on the ice. White puck, because I want them to keep their head up. At the beginning, they don't like it. Even with golf balls, white golf balls, it's very hard to maneuver. When they got the black puck, they think it's like, they tell me it's huge. They see it like a soccer ball.
They see it bigger.
A huge, and then their posture is better. See,
no
this
kidding.
is where.
Yeah, it works on
because when we talk about hockey, as soon as I see an anterior scapular plane, I see how they're going to skate. Because what happened is that they're putting too much pressure. See, a blade is round.
Right.
Then if you have an anterior scapular plane, what's going to happen? You're going to have to push your butt back.
Right.
But you'll be on tippy toe.
Yeah.
You will not have a very good elasticity of the foot from the heel to toe.
You're already
it's
too
like
far forward.
Trying to run like this.
Yeah.
You'll be quick for a couple of meters, but that's the reason why sprinters, they have a big heel to toe movement. And like Usain Bolt wears 14, 15. He looks slow off the block, the starting block, but within 20 meters, he's already ahead because he's so powerful. His RFD is mechanic, and he has these long, strong feet, and that helps him to accelerate and keep accelerating. That's the beauty. He doesn't stop. That's why he's good on 200 meters. But that's the same for a hockey player. To go back to the first question, they tell me, how could I get the first 5 steps? Get the posture better. How do we do that? We measure first. Then on the force plate, what I do, if you look at the camera, see what's going to happen is that Just stand on one leg in the middle. That's it. Just lift your leg up. Look up. Remove the shoe, please.
Yeah.
It's going to be a little better. Thank you. Because your shoe may interfere with your... And then what's going to happen is it's going to give you like right in the middle, lift your right knee up, look up, and it's starting in 3, 2, 1. It's going to give you the live oscillation, what's happening in live. Like in posturology, they call that the spaghetti. Now we're going to go on the right leg, and we check the difference of if there is indeed difference. Look up, knee up, 4, 3, 2, 1. Perfect. See, that's pretty good. See, you're at 27 of the area.
Okay.
I like, but now you're on with socks. I like around 15, but what I like in your case, there's almost no difference between right and left.
Okay.
And that's...
And 15 would be less...
Yeah, less surface.
Gotcha.
You would be more centered.
Okay,
But what I like, I prefer this than, let's say you're at 10 there and 20 there.
Because that's the asymmetry.
Exactly.
Okay,
because although you're always on one leg,
right,
you need to transfer. And there's not a lot of difference in the way you're standing on. Obviously, you're putting a little more pressure on the right, but it's going to be a little more. See, even when you're on your left, you tend to go right, meaning that you have a little more valgus.
Right.
Because you're leaning, but there's very little varus on that. And that's very interesting on that. See, for me, usually that correlates to if your sagittal plane is okay,
yeah,
that correlates with a good posture.
And I would be closer to being able to train those first 5 steps as you were describing.
Exactly. You would be more balanced because you got a good balance in between both legs.
Gotcha.
See, especially that I know your posture, when someone is in the 5% of, see, what we always do, like measuring if it's your align,
yeah,
4-finger, 3, and your scapula align, then we know that it correlates. We have a lot of data for like NHLers, and when you fit in that 5%, usually, first of all, a lot less injuries.
Right.
That's one thing, but also better performance and less effort. See, the goal of being, we're against gravity all day. Yeah. Then if you're on the force plate or if you're in harmony with gravity, the 16 hours you're up will not be as much work than if I'm like this all day or like this all day. And a lot of people, you might be surprised they're like this without knowing it because, as you know, the tonic postural system is subcortical, it's unconscious.
Right.
And then when
most people don't even, that's a good point you bring up because most people where we do assessments actually have no idea they have any amount of imbalance. And I actually think that's part of the hard sell with the strength coaches is that they don't even think they have imbalances and they don't have the trained eye or even the mindset to think about looking at this on their own athletes. But they're really interested in performance. But again, it's that initial step and this data, right, that you could take easily to think, okay, well, how hard am I going to train this athlete and what are going to be my first priorities with them?
And it's very easy too. I mean, you don't need like a sophisticated force plate. You just measure their balance and you could, okay, are they moving? But for us, because we give data, and it's a lot like you have in your lab, it's a lot easier for the client. It's not for us. You know how he is.
Right, we
but
can see
it's just, okay, here's the proof. How are we going to improve that? Then we do a lot of time, we'll check the eyes. I want to see if the person looks at me, always lean on one side. We'll check the convergence. I don't do as much as I used to do with many of the exophorie. And I mean, I still do that a lot, but a lot of time I don't have that much time. A lot of time when I put just a bit of VOR exercises mixed with a bit of convergence of different offset. What I like, for me, my go, that's I always use that thing for years. It's my famous broad. For me, I love that thing. It's so simple. I use that a lot, and I will combine it with exercise too. I will combine it with breathing. If you do the Broxy, you want to see. So it's a little too low for you, but you want to. That's it. If you, that's it. Then you want to see you want to see 2 lines and 1 ball. But if you do, now try it. Now exhale fully, breathe out, and no more breathing. Exhale and now do it without breathing as long as you can. And you want to maintain the same focus. That creates a lot of perturbation because hypoxia does that. But in reality, when you're an athlete, many times during a game, even when you ski or if you do Muay Thai or if you do MMA or you're in a corner in hockey or impact, you're not breathing.
So right.
That's why hypoxia creating mixed with applied neurology, very, very interesting. Like I'll make them do VOR exercise on one leg without breathing. Or I'll make them do VOR training while they're moving, they will use a balloon. Because what happened is that when you're creating receptors, it's called baroreceptors in your body, same as when you do a blood pressure cuff,
Right.
it reads, when you create that, your work, and you could do that, same with the tongue. When the tongue moves, if you do circle, and you move the tongue, you engram faster the movement. Very interesting, but when you combine that, especially with athletes, because after a while, this doesn't work as much with your high level. You need to find ways to create perturbation. And these things, very interesting when you mix simple movement like VOR or even convergence with this or even the Brock string with a balloon or without breathing, hypoxia, Brock strings on one leg. Brock string with the head a bit inclined or sideways, that creates, because you want to create as much perturbation. If you're a pro tennis player, the ball always not come in front of you. It's always all over. You need to adapt. Same in hockey, same in most sports. But if you're just a gym rat, big difference when you reprogram, because we see it. When someone is well reprogrammed, go on the plate again, Matt. Yeah. And just, I'll make you see this. There is a place on this that we could do. I like to do isometrics on one leg, but isometric with your brain.
Okay.
Say, we'll play a little game. Just put your leg, doesn't matter where, stand on the left leg. Just stay on this and I'll start it. And just stay there. See, that's it, without movement. Now go with your left leg. That's it. Now you go on the right. That's good. See, the average is similar. Average force 108 kilo. I mean, just to show you when you're on one leg, you're a lot heavier. Now I want you to go same thing on the left leg. Yeah. Now I want you to push as hard as you can with your foot.
In the ground.
Don't let it go. Now stay there, ready, and go. Drive that foot, drive that leg, drive that foot. Push it hard, push it hard. That's it. Big movement. Keep pushing more. Keep pushing more. Push. And I want to see your RFD at 161. Well, you went from 106 to 109. Okay. Just mentally, you gain 3 kilo of force, but RFD was a lot higher.
Now, and RFD is?
Rate of force development.
Gotcha.
And this is what I want to see on the plate. How quick when I tell you go without any, obviously nothing's pulling you down.
Right.
How quick you're able, the higher your RFD, the better it is. That means when you apply force on the ground, you're able. But again, there's no external force. It's you against gravity. It's just your mindset that creates the pressure. Now go on the right leg, please. 2, 3, 1, and go. That's it. Press hard. That's it. Push hard. That's it. Harder. That's it. Keep pushing. Keep pushing hard. Keep pushing hard. Keep pushing hard. That's it. See, you went up to 108.9, but see, your RFD is less on this 105. Why? Because you're less stable on the right leg.
Right.
See, that's where stability is huge.
Yeah.
Because now nothing's attached to it and nothing. See, that's the thing. That's where, go back to the first 5 steps, being effective when you run or when you do plyos, you need to be able to, without any load, create enough pressure. Actually, the Bosu, David Weck, when he invented the Bosu, that was exactly for that. It was to create RFD, a compression force. Has nothing to do with balance, Bosu. The reason why he put it on half ball is he found, like with his sprinters and athletes, football player, that applies very big force and they're able to maintain that force. It's very interesting. Now we'll do a little test, Matt.
Yep.
I want you to just put your left foot right in the middle and put your back foot on the ground behind you. See, I want you to go first, lift your back heel up.
Yep.
Now go down at 90 degrees, stay there, and I want you to apply as much force as you can and go. Push. That's it. Imbalance, but push, push, push. But we'll do it cognitively. I want you to lift the ball up. Push, push more. Come on. That's it. Perfect. Now switch leg.
Yeah.
Now split squat. Again, same thing. I'll tell you to 3, 2, 1. Concentrate on the ball, and I want you to read more than that. Come on, push more. Push more. That's it. Push more. Push more. Really good. You see, you keep climbing. You keep climbing. You keep climbing. Perfect. See, this one, RFD 135. See, that's way better than you did. The other one was 104 because you've used your visual flux to increase.
Right.
And that's the key.
Yeah.
That's where people, now we're going to redo the same thing, but you're going to go up and down.
Okay.
But you want to try to keep the pressure because as you go
up and down. Right.
as you go up, it will release. You don't want that.
Okay.
But you want to concentrate on the ball. Start again with the left foot. Now go up and down, keep the pressure. That's it, up and down. Go a little faster and concentrate on the ball. Try to stay in between the lines and push it hard. Come on, push up, down, push it hard. Drive, perfect. See, you went up to 91. Compare now to, it was 82 before. Now switch leg. Same thing. And your RFD 176. Again, apply as much force as you can. And go up and down, that's it. Imagine you got 200-pound dumbbells and push yourself away, up, and back down again. Push hard as you can, as hard as you can. See, 85 on this line, 178 on the RFD. That's good, very equal RFD. It means that when you apply force, this is kilo, it's not weight.
Right.
This is like 400 pounds of pressure. It means that if you skate, if you run, if you do plyometrics, you'll have, first of all, you're pretty well balanced. And this just to show you how correlated is it to static.
Yeah.
See, the same numbers comes back, the same deficit, same thing as you did in movement and not.
Which really proves to us that what we see in static has this direct
Well,
transfer to dynamic.
It is. I just see someone standing in front of me or doing like just a little movement. I could predict. Only the sagittal plane, I got enough to tell you what's going on. My next go-to test, it's the overhead squat.
Okay.
This is very, very interesting because what happened is that when you go, I'm going to ask you to be on the plate and you'll be facing the camera, please.
Yep.
The first one, you're going to have your hands to across your chest.
Okay.
And keep your feet very, very straight. And you'll just go up and down very, very slow. All right?
Maximum range?
Maximum range. And go. Go very slow. Just want to have a before and after. That's it. All the way down. Down, 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 down. That's good. And back up. Perfect. Now we're going to use the stick. Just keep it just a bit wider than your shoulder. Same thing. Bring it over your head. Same thing. Push very hard. And same speed you had before.
Okay.
3, 2, 1, and go. Down very slow. That's it. Keep pushing. Keep pushing. That's it. Keep looking forward. Keep looking forward and back up slow. Now we'll see the difference. See, very interesting with athletes that people like you train a lot. See, without, you're at 102. That's pretty high. Squatting, it's not that great, but look at your number with the arms overhead. 48.
Right.
This is like 1/3 almost. Why is that? Because when you train a lot, when you did powerlifting or Olympic weightlifting, you get very efficient. The more complex the movement,
right,
the more efficient. For your brain, probably your brain was kind of, okay, I'm going to do a squat. But probably if I had a scanner, the level of concentration
Yeah.
was like, ah.
Basic.
And I even see your eyes when you did as soon as you grabbed the bar, I saw like you had a laser.
Yeah.
And I kind of knew it. But you look at the numbers, it's very, very, very interesting. See, again, you're putting a lot more weight on the right leg.
Yeah.
And that's more people. We're talking about high ankle sprain with right-handed people, way more without an impact on the right leg than left. These tests, although it's semi-dynamic,
Right.
it will give you a big, imagine keeping that imbalance. Like for you, in your training, do a lot of overhead squat, do a lot of snatch. That's going to help you a lot because that's your area where you're going to feel good in that motion. And also, like the flywheel squats are very, very interesting. Now let's do a little experiment just for fun. I'm going to put you on the platform here on my old Desmotech. This one is 2011. It went to war. Oh, I love it. See, basically, Matt, we use harness, but I like to use that a lot when it's a lighter load because the fact that you have the straps over your shoulders, you're able to hold it tight. I got nicer one now because I got my new ones that we use from Desmotech. It's a lot softer, they're a lot harder, and they're a lot longer. Basically, what it's going to do, because it's a flywheel, but the Desmotech design is very, very unique, that it's very fast. The design is very unique because it's cords. Actually, I'm testing it with 3 cords for a while, and they still hold well. And normally there's 4. And basically, when you're going to use the strap, it allows you to have, first of all, more feedback from your posture, and also more control over your core. Then, because especially young hockey players, they have very strong legs, and I want to make sure that they have a good control over their core. And I want to avoid injuries. See, basically, the principle is that as you push, it pulls you down.
Okay.
But that creates a lot of adaptation at the cerebellum. A lot of forces. And then when you push, the more you need to really activate. If I want more quads, I'll lift my toes. I get more extension. If I want more of the hamstring calves too, posterior chain a bit more. But the fact that it pulls you down from the front has a lot more hamstring than a regular squat. That's why you could play with it. I could do side to side, but it creates a lot of adaptation. And I want you to try it just for, that's it. Put it under the arm. That's it. On top like this, behind. Don't move and just feel it. It's going to pull you down. Then
wow, yeah.
Now you want to go with it a bit. Now go down and back up a bit. Perfect. And push and back down again. All the way up. Absorb and back up. Very good, Matt. Now deeper and faster. Pause, absorb. That's it. Without touching. That's it. Break before you touch. That's it. Stop back. Stop back. Now go on the tip of your toes a bit more as you go up. That's it. Go. That's it. Down and go forward. Lift your heels up and back down. Faster with the ankle. Think big toe. Perfect. Exactly. Big toe. Very good, Matt. Come on. Drive it hard. Stay at the top. And I stop. Perfect. And you feel right away the pump in the legs.
Wow, it's insane.
It's,
the way it pulls you down.
And also it's the cross bridge. But guys, don't get me wrong. Matt trains a lot. Not everybody, but it's very simple. It's not. I have young kids, 8, 9 years old, using that with very, very high success. When we test that, when you do vertical jump, and I didn't put a lot of load on that. We could load, like this morning, we had a lot with the athletes. Some of my hockey players, they go up to 460 kilogram per movement. It's crazy. Then when the guy is 6'4", 6'5", I can't load them with that. Like they have a hard time to squat. Their femur are long.
Yeah.
They're kind of, this I save a lot of time. But what happened is that what it does, it reprograms your, it plays a role on your postural system.
Yeah.
It's a very, now redo the squat
right.
that you did with the arms across your chest. Just to see if we see any difference in the movement. 3, 2, 1, and go. Very smooth. All the way down and up. We were at 102 before with the arms. That's it. Very gently. That's good. And stop. Now we'll redo the overhead squat.
It feels completely different.
But it feels, normally you should feel smoother.
Yeah,
It
a
should
lot.
feel like a lot more depth.
Effortless.
Exactly. That's what we want to get. 3, 2, 1, and go down. That's it. Very good, Matt. That's good. Very slow. Down deep. Good. And stop. Perfect. See, what happened is that now, on your standard, you were at 208. You went down to 134. But on your overhead squat, because of the fatigue, now you're up. But I wanted to see if your regular squat got better with it on that. Obviously, now with the fatigue, when you're going to do overhead squat, it's going to be momentarily. Yeah, you momentarily, because now the brain, you're also the fatigue. But that's why when we do postural, let's say I'm doing just a squat test with the person, this is a very interesting point. Also, not everybody adapts the same way. Someone who has a good nervous system like you, immediately within like 10 minutes, only one set, drop 70 point from 208 to 134. That's a lot on the spaghetti. For me, it means that you're
a big percentage, right?
Huge.
Yeah.
And then your brain adapts quickly.
Okay.
Some of the young kids, it's even more than that.
Right.
But some, like when we reprogram someone in dynamics, sometime for a while, that's why in season we have to be careful.
Yeah.
See, we don't implement too much postural change unless you have an injury a week before playing Wimbledon. You don't want to do that. You want training. That's where over the years, Matt, after we've worked a lot together, okay, how could I complement what the CES and all and that, but not to compete? Because a lot of time, how many times you reprogram someone, they go back with slow movement, deadlift, trap bar, bench press, they come back and they're worse. Whatever, and they came out of your office, they felt good.
Yeah.
Now, okay, I want to go back to train. They do it. They come back 3 months later. What happened to that? And you analyze what they did. They didn't do El Doha. El Doha is a magnificent, from Guy Voyer, uncoupling the spine, amazing myofascial stretching, working on breathing, keep doing your eye, because a lot of time, you know it, you're never posturally balanced.
No. Perfection.
Especially if you're not, you always manage.
Yeah.
You manage in perturbation.
Yeah.
But when you train with these devices, very, very interesting that you're able to create a lot of movement. Also, the force plate, we use them also to train, like you just did, cognitively.
Yeah, you get the feedback in real time.
Exactly. If your client doesn't do his neurology exercise or the biomechanic exercise that either myself or another trainer that works with you gave them, you won't see them. And I've seen you refuse people. They say, you're able to see that they didn't do their homework.
100%.
You're good, but not that good. And
well, I'm dependent on them doing the work, right?
Exactly. And then you want to have a satisfaction from the client.
Yep.
But also, you want to have the client or the athlete being involved. Yep. Basically, what we're going to do, I'm going to give you just a little handle, and we'll have fun. Basically, you're going to hold that in your hand. And we're going to use this as a feedback. See, I'm going to put it back. I'm going to close it, bring it back on. What you're going to do, you're going to stay in that position in a split squat.
Yeah.
And you're going to just press with your arm.
Okay.
Because that thing's going to coil you back.
Okay.
See, but to start to help you, I'm going to be here. We'll do a row before.
Right.
It's a little easier for you. See, you're going to stay low on your left leg, put the left leg in the middle. See, basically just practice it a bit.
Just rowing?
Pulling, pull and back. That's it, perfect. And that's it. Now stay very low. Now I'm going to start that, and you want to keep your leg right in the middle and go. Just concentrate on that little dot. That's it, while you're rowing. See, that's your foot right there in the middle. You want to concentrate on that dot. That's good, man, perfect. That's it, just concentrate on the dot. Exactly. Very good. And it gives you a score. You see, anything around 9, 10 is really good. See, you're at 9.5. Now put the right foot on, and let's try it again. The score is how much pressure you're pulling, and go. That's it. Very nice movement, speed and back. Stay low, catch and release. That's really good. Good flow. That's good, man. That's it. Very good, man. This very good type of isometric, I call it with perturbation. but it works a lot. Your feedback, and you see the difference in between legs.
Yeah,
See, you were at 9.8 with the left one. Now you're at 8 with the right one. See, same imbalance that we saw in static.
Yeah,
It comes back.
It keeps coming back no matter what we do.
Exactly. And what happened is that this will help you to overcome that a bit,
Right.
because you saw the shearing force it creates. It's not easy when you do push pull. Now with the push, it's going to be a little different. I'll go behind you.
Yeah.
And you're going to just do a little tryout. Just place your left foot on top. Keep this under your armpit.
Okay, yeah.
Like this. And just gently keep your back heel up. Just do a couple of press to see how it feels. That's it. Push it a bit and back and forth. Feel it. That's it. Keep the tension on the rope. Don't go too far and push. That's it. Push and back. Good, Matt. That's it. Feel and go. Feel and go. That's it. A little more. That's it. Feel it. Take your time. Go slower a bit. That's it. Feel long movement. Exactly. Because you don't see it.
I was going too fast.
Oh, yeah. That's good. Now keep going. That's it. Now we got the movement. Stay there. I'm going to go behind you, and we're going to start that. See, ready? Left leg on top. That's it. And push. That's it, man. Come on. Push it good. Feel the movement and push. That's good, man. That's good. Long movement. Concentrate on the movement. Keep that pushing. Keep that pushing. Keep the movement. Keep the pressure. That's good. That's good. Keep going and stop. Perfect. Now we're going to switch arms. And push. Stay low. All right, Matt. Come on. That's it. Up and down. Feel the movement. Also with the left arm, it's different. That's good, man. Very nice. Keep that tension. Stay low. Keep that pressure. Keep that pressure. That's good, man. Come on. Keep that pressure. Keep it. Keep it. Keep it. Keep the movement. That's it. Come on. Drive it hard and stop. See, the average is a lot lower because, I mean, it's normal. See, your score, 16.3, that's both feet. The other one, it was 18.
Okay.
See, it's normal, but it's actually pretty good compared to, and on the movement, again, with the right leg, there's a little more force on it, and the average force is higher, and you see how it moves, constantly a little more embarrassed, but that's normal. Over time, we use that for rehab of the ankle. Also, when we want to, with parents, I want to show them like, oh, whatever we did, there is a change. And also we use that as a cognitive training.
I love to be able to see it at the same time because, I mean, even just for motivation, right? You start getting tired, but then when you see the numbers, it doesn't allow you to actually just get lazy.
And also you see the level of competitiveness. See, you see them when I have that on. Usually I'll train two athletes at the same time, and they like to see numbers.
Of course.
And it's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
And they like that, and they want to compete, and that's the nature. And when they have these proof, like, oh, look, I'm better, I got better, and that goes on the cloud. It registers everything, like from weeks to weeks. And again, that's one part that we use a lot, using the eyes, using the feeling, because now there's a lot of stimulus. You have to think about pressure on the plate. You want to follow your results on this and the movement. You don't want to go all over the place. Plus, there's a flywheel thing that you don't really control because the more you pull, the more it pulls you. And that is, again, if you remember the first slide I did with you many, many years ago when we did, I think it was we did a seminar together at B52, I think 219, and then it was above and beyond preparation. The title is that the first slide is always the why. Why do you train? Whatever you do, either in the gym or on the ice or on the ski hill, has to be above and beyond the needs of your activity.
Yeah.
If your job is to play pickleball and I don't give you acceleration, deceleration, and eye movement or stuff, you will not really get better at pickleball. You might be looking good in the gym.
Right.
How many times you've seen these athletes in the gym, they're jacked. They're like, but on the ice, you don't see them, or they're always on your table. They're always injured.
Yeah.
This is where we kind of moved out of a lot of the traditional hypertrophy. I call that non-usable hypertrophy.
Right, non-functional, right?
Like a gymnast or a martial artist or even Olympic weightlifter will have a certain type of hypertrophy, especially weightlifter with the traps and the legs and the low back, but they're able to use it. It's not a consequences of direct exercise, it's the consequences of movement.
Right.
Like a gymnast will do that, and martial artists. And hockey players, obviously a lot of them, they have like good hips, big legs. Yes, training helps, but if you go back in the old days, I'm from Lachine, and I've seen guys like Yvan Cournoyer and Jacques Lemaire is from here in LaSalle, but used to play in Lachine. All these guys that you could recognize a hockey player a mile away. And back then, they didn't lift weights. They didn't do anything.
Right.
Just the fact of skating creates a lot of tension on the legs. You see it with speed skating and stuff. And that's where the movement creates a usable hypertrophy. Obviously, what they gain in size, it's time under tension, but it's a perturbation. Every step you take on the ice, it's different. That's why in the gym, if you're always trained in a very, very, I like in control way with either a machine or just regular like a bench press that your back is supported. In reality, it doesn't exist that you're supported your back.
Never.
And as you know it, as an osteo, if you remove the shoulder blades out of the equation of absorption of shock, you're running after labrum tear, and a lot of glenohumeral joint doesn't like that because the job of the scapula is to absorb, dissipate the force. Same thing if you do a leg press, your hips, there's no way to go. The femur goes right into the acetabulum. Like leg extension for rehab could be useful, but not with heavy weight like you've seen guys strapped down and jumping or lying leg curl creates a lot of pressure.
Like Mike Matarazzo?
See, if you go like this with your leg curl, your knee angle always changes. When you have a roll, you can't. There's always the same distance. You work on a cam. But in reality, when you run, this gets close to you and comes back.
Right.
That's what the hamstring does. If you don't train it in that way, you'll be good on the leg curl. You'll have nice bodybuilding type of hamstring, but go sprint and you'll see. You'll risk to pop one.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean you don't do hypertrophy, but when you use like the flywheel movement, different type of isometric and suspension, different type even, sometimes we use the wheels to even the old school leg curl on the ball, we still use it a bit and at the beginning. And when you do iso on that very hard, it's really useful. But the most going to be useful is when you do standing up movement. We use a lot of the flywheel to do these movement, hip extension, hip abduction, adduction, and flexion. That will transfer in way quicker. As you saw the first couple of reps you did after you came out of the box, right away the first one was spectacular.
Yeah.
Because your brain's like, what the hell is that?
I would think that we can probably take on more of these athletes in the off season if we combine with the work that you're doing.
Exactly.
Because you
That's
spoke
very
about
smart.
proprioception, and I'm thinking that's what they have a hard time adjusting to, right? When we start with the insoles and the eye exercises, it shifts them out of what they're
But
known.
to combine it, you're perfect. That's a great question, Matt. Great observation. We saw that. Do we have numbers? No, I would lie. But we saw, like, I'm not afraid anymore if someone has access to these type of training, or I train them on Zoom, or we're doing a lot of Aldoa, and I know they're doing their activation of the foot, working the flexor hallucis longus, and all the movement of crawling and movement, and all the movement with the cards, the different colors. Then we know, like, when they use that in combination, I've never had any problem of overcompensation. And also, they don't get as sore because flywheel training, especially the Desmotech system, works mainly on the fascia. And in the fascia, tendon and ligament are fascia. Right. And it activates the tendon, the signal of the tendon very quickly. Yeah. And that's what you need to know. Because we did in 2019 with Dr. Mathieu Boilly, we did our mini study. It was not like science, but we had a very high level ultrasounds. We had two or three different, and we did like people on a belt squat because I wanted to have something similar to that. A group on belt squat, a group on that for a couple of weeks. We measured vertical jump. We measured with ultrasound quads, hamstring, tendons. Within one set on that, the quad tendon and the Achilles tendon gets lit up. After 4 sets on the belt squat, yellow. This was red. And after a couple of weeks, the better you were, the quicker your activation of the tendon, the signal basically. When your signal is high, your rate of force development is higher because you absorb more shock and the fascia does the job because it's not like tight. it gets that movement of the elasticity.
And for sure that contributes to the overall proprioceptive change that we
Huge.
see when we start someone. And I can see how it makes it a more fluid process, right? For them to go from an old body schema to a new
Especially
one.
with the young kids that they start training, when we train them on that, amazing results. We have a couple of goalies that we've been training for the last couple of years. They were kind of young on that, 6, 7 years old. And now they're in their like 13, 14, 15 years old. And big difference. They didn't go through, one is about 6'1", didn't go through that stage. He's 14, big goalie, one of the top in the country. And he didn't go through that phase of being like a Saint Bernard, a puppy.
Yeah.
You know how they were clumsy?
Yeah,
He
yeah.
didn't go through that. It's amazing his maturity. And I mean, his dad is a doctor, he's a radiologist, and he has all the system. We do a lot of Zoom. He trains with my pro guys since they're very young. His brother too. Very interesting. Very, very interesting results. And that's the future. Anyway, you know me, we're always looking. We're very curious beings, and we're always trying to help the coaches. Okay, now you did posturology. You don't have to be a posturologist. Use it as a tool for performance enhancement, as I did.
Yeah.
Actually, Guy Voyer, I wanted to be an osteo. He says, no. We need trainers.
Right.
It's like most of our cohort when we started in somatotherapy back then in the 1990s. Yes, we became posturologists, but my bread and butter was to work with Olympic pro athletes, and I always liked that. But by using these tools, remember when we started to analyze feet and eyes, I look at it, I was like, this 20 years ago, what are you doing? Yeah. No pro athlete have ever that done. Says, guys, where do you run? On your head? When I did a presentation, I think in 2016 at the Isokinetic, one of the biggest soccer, like it's football in Europe, like a symposium on all injuries in England, I presented on hamstring injury, and they thought I would present on exercise. No, I presented on the role of the postural system with hamstring injuries and basically the foot. And there were shocks. No one told us, guys, your soccer player, they don't run on their head. They run on their feet. If the foot is valgus, there's a consequence. If they have a disharmonic foot, if their postural is, there's anterior scapular plane, there's always consequences on their hamstring. You could have the best Nordic curl or the best equipment if your 22 axis of your pelvis is crooked, and also if your postural system, your tonic is not, your spindle cells, there's a they don't agree, Golgi tendon organ, and spindle cells, they don't agree, they'll spasm. That's what they do. If you hang and you're not equal, you may spasm. Carry a big suitcase on one side, walk with this for a couple of hours at the airport, you might see that if it's the right side, your left side might spasm. Again, it's a misinformation between spindle cells and Golgi.
The mismatch, yeah.
When we tune them up with posturology, with these things, what we found, also some research of some, I don't know if you're familiar with BDNF, brain-derived neurotropic factors, increase that a lot.
Okay.
If you combine it with hypoxia, then you increase it even more.
Even more.
Yeah, and then, you know it, the center for the breathing are the same center at the cerebral trunk with the cerebellum, the midbrain, and also the medulla. That's a very oblongata that really modulate with the breathing, and also the midbrain, and that's very interesting in the pons, like in exhalation and with the extensions change. It's all interlinked.
Yeah.
When you're able to train like we did, a bit similar stuff with the eyes, mixed with hypoxia with the balloon. Again, guys, today it's like we could spend hours on that. Next one we'll do it, maybe more practical. But Matt and I, if you want, we could do a 2-day course on that anytime in English, and we'll have fun and live. It's better, it's fun online, guys. We'll film it, but come to see us in Montreal, or we'll fly to see you guys. It's
you know what it is? They need to experience it.
Oh, you have to be there.
It's this type of thing where once you get on the platform and you actually see the little bubble and you see the numbers, you get it.
And the art of coaching.
Right.
The art of coaching is lost because of how many times I was giving a formation the other day. 2 guys from Toronto training high-level hockey player, they never came to a live seminar. These guys are like 28, 29 years old, very accomplished. Everything online. Says, guys, like when we do Swiss is all about the sidelines. It's not about it's all like the corridors. Like the corridors and talking to people, having dinner, And I mean, that's what it is. The human,
And it's always
the
been
human
that
side.
Swiss, right?
But
From
everywhere
the
it's like
beginning.
that.
Yeah, every
See,
convention
when we
where
give
you show up
seminar
in
together,
person.
when you're in Europe, lunchtime or after dinner is
100%.
that's where the action is.
It's honestly where it happens.
It is. Oh, wow, I didn't think about that. Okay, tomorrow morning we'll get it. That's why when I do a domicile gym every year now, it's my second year.
Yeah.
I spend 4 days with 25 trainer. That's amazing. Like I'm exhausted after that
Right.
because you don't. I love it because in the
it's all
morning,
day and all night.
tonight, and it's very interesting. Not me night because I don't go as much as my French colleagues. But I'm not in that age group.
They're hard to beat.
But yeah, they're good. But I mean, it's great because it's so much information, and by teaching it to kind of advanced people, you get questions like, I didn't think about that. Thank you. And that's where my best athletes, I was thanking some of my top athletes, the one that challenged me the most or the one I had the most fun with.
I believe that.
Yeah, because they didn't care about all the medals my athletes won and the millions some of my athletes they did. They just want to get better.
Yeah.
And these guys are already at that level. And I got, it's not pressure, but I got the challenge to, okay, what can I do to help you to either stay there or get better? Because when you're at the top, the only way to go is down.
I love the stress factors that you throw in because I was always used to using vestibular challenges and increased proprioceptive difficulties. But hypoxia, I find, is so relevant for performance. Again, clinically, I don't think about people being out of breath because it's too clean of an environment, right? They sit on a table, I test their convergence, and then I'm like, oh, maybe your
But
convergence
you might be
sucks.
surprised. Check next time.
Right.
See, one thing, Matt, just test that. First of all, test if they're able to inflate the balloon. Most people, a lot of them, they have paradoxal breathing. They can't inflate. It's today, you can't do that.
You're kidding, eh?
You can't, yeah. Or they'll go like this. And it's when I was younger, we never saw that. That's stress.
No, that's it. Like
It's the stress do that. And if you test them and they're already in hypoxia, and you know people, they don't want to look stupid, when they're could be very interesting to make them blow balloon, test their eyes, make them blow balloons for about a minute or two, retest the eyes. You might be surprised how that might change right away.
I'm so getting a set of balloons from Dollarama
That's
as I
exactly.
exit your
the
garage.
the best one is this. Matt, those are the one with the cords.
Okay,
You
yeah.
get them at Dollarama, they're thicker.
Okay,
and
they
the
have a
rim
cord.
is it's a little easier to inflate.
Okay, I'll definitely get
But
those.
I tell you, for first of all, vagus nerve,
Yeah.
for regulating of the baroreceptors, creating a good environment, and also for postural issue, because basically for your neck,
Yeah.
there's a big, and also your diaphragm, obviously, it's a big player in your breathing, but in your postural system.
And it can probably work on decreasing just systemic loads of
Exact-
stress,
right
which
away.
will help us increase our results using any technique,
Very,
whether
very,
it's posturology or
exactly.
any other.
And it will make them more sympathetic when they're going to do their eye exercise. You'll see more. And also use a metronome to do eye
Yes.
exercise, like I did with you all the time, because this also at the myelin sheet, a metronome helps a lot to engram the movement, and also probably BDNF, they had a research on that with the sound.
I get lazy and I even tell my students that if I need any technology, I figure my clients are going to say, oh, I didn't have my metronome, even if it's on their phone, right?
Yeah.
But I totally see where you're coming from. There's definitely a place where maybe with the more motivated ones that want to go a bit beyond, oh, I just want to be pain-free, right? Which
But the
there's a clientele for that.
breathing is your best metronome.
Yes, okay.
Like if you look at runners, you'll have like, they have a rhythm. That's the breathing. But for engramming a new movement, let's say people is spastic, a metronome, like learning music.
Right.
Because first of all, your attention is there. You're not gazing away. And when you do exercise, these things, it gives a rhythm. And in hockey, tennis, golf, everything is timing and rhythm. When you build that, and the goal is after a while, you hear that without hearing it. It's built in.
It's built in, yeah.
It's like your own metronome is there.
Yeah, and that's the best metronome, right? It was when you start owning it and it becomes
That-
part of your
anything
dynamic.
external,
Right.
you want to use it parcimonie, we say in French.
Yeah, like a little bit here
As
and
soon
there.
as the learning curve is there, remove it. 'Cause
Right.
It's a bit like some people, they need orthotics because they have either Morton's neuroma or in their skates, but the rest of the day, if they can, wear nothing.
Yeah.
Like I'm always with sandals even in the winter. That's where the cold tubs. Here I have my own sauna. I got my cold tub in the back. I got my red light here. I mean, what we do is to improve. For me, it's longevity. I turned 64, and I intend to keep. I promise my son that the six-pack will stay there until I die. But it's not only vanity, but I'm my own experiment. And I have a lot of clients in their 80s. They're still part of the experiment with me, and I've been training them for years and years, and they're doing very, very well. And it's very interesting. I mean, they're not that strict on diet. Obviously, they don't smoke. They don't drink that much.
Basic.
But they're not. If you would analyze purists, you go look at them. I mean, they're not. But their mental clarity and the way they laugh, the way they use their vagus nerve, balloon stuff, training, having fun.
Yeah.
Because training is fun. It's not like reps and sets, and I see people frowning and whoa, relax, guys. You're in the gym. You're playing.
This was so much more fun than just like going up, going down, going up. Because a lot of people will complain that it gets monotonous.
Yeah.
But when you're struggling to keep your balance as you're doing anything else, and you've got visual feedback on what you're doing, it's fun, it's challenging.
And you saw your heart rate going up very quickly.
Yeah.
Because there's also that perturbation. And also, it's called epoch. The epoch is very high on that.
I felt it coming off the squat.
Oh, this is like crazy.
I couldn't believe it, right? As soon as I come off, we're talking, and I'm like, it's going to my head.
Yeah, I know.
And we barely did any work.
And also the runner's high, like for dopamine, and like really interesting on that. It's like one of the doctor I work with, because it's very big in physiotherapy in Europe, he calls that the happy devices. Because his athletes, they're more, let's say they're flat in the morning, they do a couple of sets and they're a little happier. Yeah, they're like, that's why we do that a lot.
So cool.
Matt was... Toujours le fun,
As
mon
you-
chum.
hey, tout le
Toujours
temps,
le chum,
tout le temps.
anytime, guys.
J'apprends tout le temps à
Anytime.
chaque
Oh,
fois.
man, it's not apprendre. It's sharing, man. It's fun.
It's cool.
It's like, it's always having a little different perspective.
Yeah, we're going to do more of these. Guys, thank you so much for being a part of this recording. I've learned a lot. I mostly had a lot of fun. Paul?
Thank you for your body.
Yes.
And it's in that scorching weather and the door is open, but you're good.
We did well. Until next time, guys.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.